information shared on Girl Pray On It is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Although I am a licensed mental health counselor, I'm not your therapist. Unless, of course, you're one of my clients. In that case, I am your therapist, and I'll see you in our next session. Listening to this podcast does not create a therapeutic relationship between us. If you are experiencing emotional distress or a mental health crisis, please seek support from a licensed mental health provider in your area or contact a crisis line. Always pray on it, and also reach out when you need help.
But not to us. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. Alhamdulillah. I'm doing good.
Alhamdulillah.
That's great. That's great. I am Aisha.
And I'm Rebecca.
And this is another episode of
Girl
Pray On It. I'm going to list off some things, and you're going to tell me if you think that they're halal or haram.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. I'm intrigued.
Okay. Liposuction.
Haram.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a unnecessary medical procedure that could put your life at risk solely for the purpose of weight loss.
Okay.
So I would think that a gastric bypass surgery is halal and liposuction is haram.
Oh, but gastric bypass, I've heard, is like actually the life outcomes. Your quality of life is a lot worse with a gastric bypass versus like liposuction. Okay.
Well, I guess it's all coming down to sort of intention and medical purpose.
Yeah.
So this is just my theorizing. I'm not saying this is right.
Yeah,
or
we're
wrong.
not giving any fatwa.
No,
or like,
no.
yeah.
My mind would think to myself, okay, we can undergo surgeries, we can undergo certain procedures if it's for a medical purpose.
Okay.
And I think a doctor would qualify gastric bypass surgery as medically necessary for somebody who is experiencing obesity, for example. Versus like liposuction, you think of it more as just removing fat from the body of areas that you don't want. And I feel as though it's more of a cosmetic than it is medically necessary.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I see liposuction as like it's the equivalent to just working out really hard. I would see that's halal.
Do you know the answer?
I don't know the answer.
What is it what's out there?
I don't.
What do they say?
I mean, it probably, you're right. It's like, if it's medically necessary, then yes. But like for me personally, halal.
But only for you.
Okay. Laser treatments.
Laser treatments. Can you be more specific?
Like CO2 lasers, skin resurfacing, like laser treatments that like help resurface the skin.
I don't know what that means.
Girl, you gotta get on your Zoom, girl. Okay, oh my gosh. So there are these laser treatments that you can use to like help resurface the skin, and they like basically create micro damage so that your skin will create more collagen and have a more youthful, glowy appearance.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's usually done in a dermatologist's office or an esthetician's office.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would think that would be halal.
Okay.
Because it's temporary. It's not altering your face in any sort of way.
Okay.
It's like a temporary cosmetic treatment. I mean, then again, this rationale is sort of with the liposuction. Like liposuction's also temporary.
Exactly. Exactly. If it's temporary, if liposuction is temporary, then halal.
Yeah. I don't know the answer to these things.
Actually, no. Liposuction is not temporary because when they take out the fat from that area, it never goes back. They take away the cells.
Okay.
So, like, when they take away fat from, like, under your chin, you'll never get another double chin because they've taken away the fat cells from there.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So we have to look that one up.
Yeah.
And, I think like both are obviously for cosmetic purposes. So they're not like medically necessary.
Right.
So it might be a little bit of like a gray area. I don't know. I'd be curious to like, we'll definitely look this up and fact check it.
Yeah.
This is just,
none of this is to say that is actually halal or haram.
Right.
We're playing a fun little game.
This is no judgment on anyone's personal decisions or choices that they make. Just Just a back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Botox.
Yeah, Botox is halal.
Okay, I agree. Filler. So under eye filler, like you can get a non-surgical rhinoplasty, lip filler, cheek filler, chin filler. Yeah.
I think that it's halal because they're temporary and they
Mhm.
dissolve. But I think they all of these things may be halal, but they're obviously for cosmetic purposes.
Right.
So I think it comes down to probably what your intention is.
Mhm.
Is your intention that you are going to get Botox and filler so that you can go out and model and show off your face to the world?
Mhm.
Or is your intention like, I want to feel confident in my body and I want to please my spouse?
Mhm.
I feel like it may come down to intention when it comes to those things.
Okay, a BBL.
What the hey is that?
Yeah, God, girl, you gotta get on your Zoom. A BBL.
Then I don't know what these things are.
I guess that's true. So a BBL is a
Okay.
Brazilian butt lift. And yeah.
What is that?
So Brazilian butt lift is what the Kardashians are known for, but they will never admit.
Right.
So basically, it's lipo 360. So they usually take fat from all different parts of your body, but the best fat is from your stomach.
Yeah.
And they take that fat, they probably put it in a machine and like make it clean or whatever. And then they put it in your butt. Yeah.
Oh. Haram.
Okay.
Haram.
But it's all from you. It's just a reflex.
Just stop messing with your bodies, man. Leave the fat where it is. Okay.
Okay. Well then, fat transfer to your under eye,
That's
to
the
your
same
cheeks,
thing. That's the same.
to your lips,
Oh my
to your
God.
boobs.
Okay, that feels permanent to me. That feels like you're permanently altering something.
Okay. True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Rhinoplasty.
Is that another word for nose job?
Yeah.
If it's medically necessary, then
Yeah.
it's halal. If
Yeah.
it's purely cosmetic, then I think it's haram.
Okay. An upper or lower blepharoplasty.
What is that?
So basically, you're taking the bags out of the bottom of your eyes or like the extra skin from the top of your eyes, like the overhang.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's very popular in places like Korea where they have like monolids.
Okay. I think haram because you're permanently altering your face, and we know that Allah is against making permanent changes to the face.
Okay. I would actually disagree with you
Yeah.
because I know someone and she's actually South Korean, and she said that over time, because she has monolids, her like eyes will droop down and will cause vision like impairment.
Okay.
And so she actually would have to get an upper bleph
Yeah.
in order for her to be able to see
Right.
like later.
Well, that is a case of medically necessary.
Right, exactly.
Right. So it's not necessarily the procedure that's haram.
Yeah.
It's like the reason for
the
it.
reason why. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Boob jobs
Haram.
in all cases.
It's never in all cases.
Okay.
That's
True.
the thing. Like, Islam is a religion of like there will always be exceptions, and if things are
Exactly.
a case by case basis, and Allah is so merciful
Yeah.
that like he knows our intentions and
Very
why
true.
things need to happen.
Yeah.
And so I think when it comes to these like questions that you're asking me of
Yeah.
like anything could be medically necessary,
True.
and that's what makes it halal.
Yeah.
If it's medically necessary, like if you need to augment your chest because you have breast cancer, like of course that
right,
is
exactly.
halal.
Yeah.
I think it's really about the intention. Is
Yeah.
your intention to, improve your quality of life, and
Mhm.
it's medically necessary, and it's going to, enhance your well-being. Like that is one thing
Mhm.
versus like strictly because it's like solely cosmetic and you want to like alter yourself. I think that I don't want to make a blanket statement like
Yeah.
that is totally haram. Like
Right.
I don't think it is, and who am I to say that it is?
Right.
But I just feel like in our religion, everything is about intention. And so whether or not something is halal or haram, I think comes down to a case by case basis.
Mhm.
But we do know in our religion that we believe Allah created us how
we were
love-
meant to be.
we were
Yeah.
meant to be however Allah created us to
Mhm.
be, and we're all beautiful. We're all Allah's creation.
Mhm.
And so he doesn't want us to alter ourselves or alter our faces or bodies in a way that is permanent.
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand that. All right, last one, laser hair removal and electrolysis.
Okay, I think that is halal if it's in places in which other people are allowed to view you. So it's halal if you are having like if you're going to someone for laser hair removal, the only places that they could see if it's another woman would be your knees and below your knees. So I think it's halal if it's up to your knees or like your face, like if you're getting it on like your chin or whatever, or underarms,
Yeah.
like that would be halal. I think the only place it wouldn't be halal is between your belly button and your knees.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing it yourself, I think that's halal because they make like handheld laser treatments.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
but
so
those
that's halal.
often do not work on darker skinned people. So if you're dark skinned, don't use those.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I think it's halal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, and I like we said earlier, there's exceptions, right? People who have HS, which is hidradenitis suppurativa, which means you get boils, really bad boils in your pubic areas. Laser actually can help with that, and electrolysis, like to
So then
remove.
that's medically necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Microblading
What
your
is that?
eyebrows. Microblading. You just said that.
I know, but I didn't know what it was.
Okay, so microblading is semi-permanent makeup where they do use a tattoo gun to add hairs to your eyebrows.
That's a gray area. That's tough because it's kind of like a tattoo.
Yeah.
And they might even be using a needle, it sounds
Yes.
like.
Oh, they are definitely using a needle.
Yeah, I don't know. So in Islam, tattoos are forbidden. So I'm like leaning towards, like I wouldn't feel comfortable with it, but I think that could potentially be like a gray area.
Yeah, it definitely is a gray area.
Yeah.
What about a chemical peel?
A chemical peel? What the heck is that?
So a chemical peel is like basically it's a very strong like acid that they put on your face, and super strong chemical peels will take like almost like 2 weeks for your skin to kind of like slough off.
Oh my God, that sounds so painful.
It can be. Well, they're usually not, but it's just more of like your skin's flaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably halal. It's like probably the same thing as what you had mentioned before.
With the lasers.
Laser. Yeah.
Yeah, laser treatments. Microdermabrasion. It's another form of sloughing off the skin.
Then I guess halal?
Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. And this is men's favorite. It's the turkey special. Hair transplants.
I think those are halal.
Okay. As long as it's with your own hair, not someone else's hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. That's all I've got on the brain, right?
I'm sure that these are wildly debated topics.
Yeah, 100%.
So I don't think that there's going to be like a clear answer on what it is, halal. But we will kind of do some research and maybe we'll put kind of what we've found, short descriptions in the description box of the video.
Yeah, and I'll just say a blanket statement. Don't listen to anything we just said here. We're just having like a fun little conversation about it. Go to your local scholar. Ask him, because there are differences of opinions depending on different madhabs and schools of thought.
Yeah.
Right. We don't have the authority to give fatwa or any of that type of knowledge. Definitely seek out your local scholar and ask them.
Yeah.
So we've talked about a lot of different cosmetic and plastic surgery procedures.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in hearing, what experience do you have with either clients or in the mental health field about this feeling of there's never enough. There's always something that can be better, right? There's always something that can change. And this like kind of addiction to cosmetics procedures that kind of exists in our modern society.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if everyone out there has heard about it, but there's actually a diagnosable mental illness in the DSM-5. It's called body dysmorphic disorder, BDD, and it is a preoccupation or a fixation on a particular body part. And people who are addicted to cosmetic surgery a lot of times may actually have this sort of diagnosis. And there's like just such a huge fixation on that. But I don't think that is the majority of cases.
Yeah.
I do think obviously cosmetic procedures are becoming more and more popular simply because people are so fixated on their flaws and feel as though they need to get cosmetic procedures to fix those flaws. I think that when we see people who are really obsessed with cosmetics and plastic surgery, and it feels like nothing is ever enough and there always needs to be more and more and more, there's actually something deeper going on in here, right? There's some way in which a person really dislikes themselves or can't sit with themselves or cannot be themselves. And this desire to completely change their appearance, I think, is probably coming from more internally of feeling a dissatisfaction or a dislike of who they are fundamentally. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I think especially in today's, like in our modern society right now, cosmetic procedures, plastic surgery is so advanced, so widely available, and so undetectable that we're seeing so many people kind of like pop out with new faces and bodies.
Yeah.
And it looks so good, especially when you're like on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you're on social media, and you're seeing these people with these really like amazing physical appearances, and you're like, wow, how do I get that? Right?
Yeah.
There's not enough skincare in the world to have those types of results, right?
Yeah.
That people are kind of like
Right.
obsessing over.
Because it's not real.
It's not real. I actually like, I think that if you are an influencer, and I want there to be more regulation on having to disclose if you've had any plastic surgery, if you are going to be an influencer and selling people things that are cosmetic based, right?
Yeah.
Because you are selling people a lie. If you've had all these procedures and you are consistent about going to an esthetician or a dermatologist, you've been in and out of the operating room with plastic surgeons, and you're selling people cosmetics, and you're selling a dream and a fantasy that's not accurate. And I think you should have to disclose that you've had X number of treatments, you do X number of things to yourself, and that results may vary, right?
Yeah.
I think that we need a lot more regulation when it comes to what we're seeing online and in our media, because all of the access that these celebrities and influencers have to free or reduced cost treatments is impacting the psyche of so many young girls.
Absolutely.
And do you get the procedures that you want? No one is trying to convince you to not do that. But I feel like we have so much more body dysmorphia and like unrealistic beauty standards because we don't know what's real and what's actually fake.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's so true. There was this funny saying that was going around on social media that was, "You're not unattractive, you're just poor."
Yeah, exactly. And it's true.
Yeah.
And it's
So
true.
they're
Yeah.
basically saying that like all these celebrities and influencers have access to these cosmetic treatments and plastic surgery to alter their appearance to look more attractive or pleasing to the human eye. And all of us regular degulars, we
Yeah.
don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
And obviously, like the rise in these cosmetic treatments is creating further division in this unrealistic beauty standard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking as well, like how many celebrities are out there who just deny that they've had any plastic surgery?
Right.
And we're
yeah.
like, come on, we
Like,
know.
it's
Just be
so
honest
obvious,
about it.
right?
Yeah.
Like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Well, I dislike them for a number of reasons. But what I really, really dislike is this idea that they haven't done anything to their body, that they're all natural. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious. You could never get that type of diaper booty from just like doing squats all day. It's not possible.
Yeah. Well, like they literally have different faces
Yeah.
than they had like a
like
few
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, I haven't done anything. It's just Botox and good makeup. Be so for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your face looks like an entirely different person.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Lindsay Lohan. Ooh, she got a great facelift recently. She looks amazing.
Yeah.
But she's like, I just drink water with lemon. And it's like, just be honest,
Just
girl.
be honest.
Just be honest.
Just be honest.
And obviously, for us normies, we're speculating a lot about what these celebrities and influencers have had done, but it's very clearly obvious that you had a different face 10 years ago, and now you have an even better face now.
Yeah.
It's very obvious when you've had these types of like drastic cosmetic procedures and you're not owning up to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this has obviously affected society at large.
Yeah.
Tell me how you feel this raises challenges for the Muslim women in our community.
You know, I was just thinking about this, like, as Muslim women, we are taught to be modest, right? And to not engage in these trends of trying to beautify yourself to an insane extent and be like super vain about your appearance. Obviously, there's nothing that says that we can't look good, we can't dress up and make ourselves feel nice and look presentable, right? But we're definitely shouldn't be engaging in these very capitalist, vain beauty trends that we're seeing. And unfortunately, I think it's very hard as Muslim women in our modern age it's very hard for us to kind of stay away from that. And then there's the added piece of, like I said, all of these influencers. And we are being impacted by it when we're seeing it on social media, but then also men are being impacted by it when they're seeing women on social media. And they're looking at all these women who have these really unattainable beauty standards. And then they look towards Muslim women who are not supposed to be engaging in these vain trends. And we're not changing our bodies drastically as Muslim women. And so Muslim men are looking at influencers and then looking back at us and being disappointed, right? Or their idea of like what they want to see out of a wife is so unattainable that we can't match up to what they want and what they expect. And I think a lot of men have forgotten what real women's bodies look like. We have cellulite, we have fat, we have stretch marks, right? We don't have perfectly even skin. Some of us have thinning hair. Some of us have lots of body hair. We are human, right? And I think the trend of these cosmetic procedures and plastic surgery has shifted what women look like, and men don't actually know what real women look like, and they bring in these unrealistic body expectations into a marriage and then are disappointed when their wives don't look like an Instagram model.
Right.
You know?
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think us as Muslim women, we're not immune to the unrealistic beauty standard that is being perpetuated with the rise of the cosmetic industry and cosmetic beauty procedures. I think that it's made it even harder to be a modest woman, I think, if that makes any sense.
That's true.
Because with the rise of social media, with the rise of these cosmetic procedures, there's just so much pressure to like show off what you look like, take pictures, post the pictures.
Exactly.
So I think that it's hard not to fall, prey to these like, to capitalism, really. That's what it comes down to, right? The beauty industry, the cosmetics industry is capitalizing on our insecurities, creating this unrealistic beauty standard so that we continue to buy their products, we continue to get these treatments because they want us to keep coming back so that we continue to alter ourselves and look more and more, beautiful.
Yeah.
And like you said, we've forgotten that natural beauty is the most beautiful. The way that Allah created us and intended for us to look is what is beautiful.
Yeah.
But I don't have any, there's no judgment whatsoever, as we said, about people who get these procedures. But I would just ask that we all look internally and examine, what is going on in here, inside, that is making us feel like we have to change what we look like.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a bigger issue when somebody wants so much to get these sort of treatments. It's a bigger issue of not liking who you are. It's not about that we don't look good enough. It's that we don't feel good enough. And we don't feel content or good in our own bodies.
Yeah.
There's like some disconnect between our body and soul in some sort of way. Like, I think there's a way in which we forget that our bodies are just vessels and that one day we all like return to Allah.
Yeah.
Our bodies are just like these temporary homes, and eventually everything fades, everything changes, everything we become a bag of bones.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet we're so fixated on being the most attractive that we could possibly be. So I think that when I hear the Muslim community falling prey to the cosmetic industry and wanting to make so many physical changes to our appearances, I just keep thinking like we're not connected to ourselves. We don't feel like we're good enough.
We're appealing to our baser egos.
Yeah.
Enoughs. Yeah.
Yeah, we're appealing more to the vanity and the ego than we are to our inner self and our inner peace. And I think that when these feelings arise, it's an opportunity to look deeper and to ask ourselves what it is you're really discontented with.
Yeah.
Is it really your body? Is it really your face? Or is it your heart? You know?
Yeah, subhanAllah. Sometimes I think about like what it would be like if we just lived in a society where we all were modest, right? Like 100%. We all wore abayas. Some of us wore the niqabs. Like in that society, nobody would have the expectation of looking any type of way because we would all be modest and we would not be so focused on our outward appearance as much as like we would currently, because we live in a Western society where we see an array of different women who decide to not wear a lot of clothing and women who decide to, you know, be more modest than you and I, right?
Yeah.
And because of that vast difference, we live in a society where it's virtually impossible to not compare yourself to the rest of society. And I think all the time about like, subhanAllah, like men would not have the expectation of like women looking a certain way if we lived in a more modest society. And I'm talking about this for like both men and women, right? Where there was not a culture of appealing to our ego, our outward appearance, but more about like how we are as Muslims, as intellectual beings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if a procedure is halal, like, and you feel strongly that you want to have that procedure, you know, you do what you want to do. We all have like free will. We all have the ability to make choices for ourselves. But like, even if something is halal, I think we have to consider like, why do I feel so much pressure to do this thing? You know, like Botox is halal, right? So there's nothing that, you know, to stop any of us from getting Botox. But the question is why? You know, why do we feel the need to get Botox? It's because our society favors and gives privilege to youth, and we all want to preserve and hold on so tightly to our youth. And we've demonized aging. People are so scared of aging. Before you get a cosmetic procedure, just think about why it is you are getting that cosmetic procedure and what part of society has made you feel like you're not beautiful and wonderful just the way you are existing in this world as is.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to reiterate that we're not passing any judgments on anyone who has gotten cosmetic surgery. I live in the esthetician's office, okay? I love skin treatments. My dream is to actually go to Korea and go get like all the skin treatments that they have because they're super known for their very advanced skin treatments and also plastic surgery. So just know that we're not judging you, right, for that, but we're also not saying what is halal and haram. And we want to emphasize that please do go to your scholars, go to your local imams and sheikhs and ask them what the permissibility is around some of these procedures. Yeah.
So we have been talking about cosmetic treatments, but what about cosmetics? What about makeup? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I wear makeup. Obviously, we're wearing makeup right now. I don't particularly think that it's haram. I think there's ways that it can become more haram, like depending on if you're trying to completely change like your facial features. Like you've seen those transformation videos on like Instagram and TikTok where people like transform themselves into like a different person, an actual like celebrity or like a character or whatever. I think that's where it kind of goes to be a little bit too far. But I also think that makeup is an artistic form of expression. I don't think that I don't want to vilify that or say that it's like out and out haram, but I am mindful about the way I do makeup when I know I'm going to be in public and around men. I think the way I would go to an all-girls party would be like fully out with fake eyelashes and all and like the whole nine. But that's just me. That's what I'm comfortable with. I've heard from different scholars that makeup is haram. I've heard from other scholars that like it really depends on the amount of makeup that you're using and if it's natural, if it's just to kind of like even out the skin tone and like make you look like more awake. I've heard scholars say it's haram to wear in public, but it's halal to wear at home. It's encouraged to wear for your husband. So I've heard an array of different opinions around cosmetics. I personally love makeup. I don't wear it all the time. If you see me on the street, probably not wearing makeup just because my skin is really sensitive to products. But I don't fault anyone for wearing makeup. And I think it's one of those things where it's like an individual case-by-case situation.
There's obviously a difference of opinion when it comes to makeup, and people are going to have their own interpretation as to what is halal or not halal. And I don't want to comment on that. I think for me, makeup has always been about self-expression and the colors. And, you know, as soon as I see those pinks, I'm just like, yes, give that to me. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But I think like there's no doubt about it that the cosmetic industry, makeup brands are preying on our insecurities as women. And I think most makeup companies are not leaning into elements of self-expression. They're trying to capitalize on you know, hyperpigmentation and covering that up and covering up flaws as opposed to highlighting the parts of ourselves that we really love. And so I think it's all tied into what we've talked about in the past, capitalism and this like unrealistic standard of beauty, regardless whether it's makeup or it's cosmetic surgeries or whatever it might be. It's all under the guise that these big corporations want of making us feel bad about ourselves so that we pour more and more money into making ourselves look better, even though what is look better actually mean? I think you could probably say that makeup is pretty similar to like these cosmetic procedures, except for that it's very temporary.
Exactly.
And we'll literally say it as you're wearing it.
Exactly. I mean, I would also say that like the cosmetic industry and the plastic surgery industry is rooted in white supremacy and racism. Like the whole reason for a lot of the issues that we are made to feel bad about and these quote unquote flaws or insecurities is because of the European standard of beauty, unfortunately. All right. So now is the time for our listener letters. If you have a question, query, problem, issue, or whatever, something that you would like our opinion on, you can send an email to girlplayonitpod@gmail.com and we might just read it.
I never gonna say that.
It's called a script. It's for the script.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's get to our listener letter for today. Assalamu alaikum. I am a girl in her 20s. I have non-existent boobs. I have no ass. I have thin lips. I'm balding. My jaw is non-existent. My eyebrows are fading. I have textured skin. I'm skinny and have the body of a 13-year-old boy. I don't wear makeup or thread my brows. I don't care. I know I'm not attractive, and I know I don't have the things that make a female a female. My family comments on it all the time, but really, I don't care that I'm flat from the back, or I don't have boobs, or that my hair is balding, or my lashes are short. But my nose, I hated it. I hated it so much that I got it done. It affected me so much in life. I was always so anxious about meeting new people or going out. And it wasn't that my nose was normal but looked ethnic. It was really bad. A big bump, droopy and bulbous tip. Long story short, I only removed the hump because I still wanted to have an ethnic look. But I feel disgusted by myself. One, because it's probably a sin. But I thought it wasn't at the time I got it done since it caused me anxiety and psychological issues. Second, because I gave into society standards. Now, let me say this. I've been insecure about my nose way before social media was big. I still don't care about social media, but people calling out my big nose in high school has caused me anxiety and fear ever since. So I did it. And now I feel disgusted and don't know what to do. I probably know that no one would ever marry me because who would want someone who got cosmetic surgery done? The main thing is I feel disgusting knowing that I changed something. Could you offer me advice? I feel disgusted and I don't feel worthy of being called a Muslim anymore. What are your thoughts? I know.
Yeah.
First of all, girl, you were going in on yourself. That is so mean. Why would you lead yourself to filth like that? Okay, I am
Yeah.
sure that you are not as you have described. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going in on yourself, girl. You have to have a little bit more self-confidence, and just know that whatever is on the outside is just what people are seeing. It's what's on the inside that really makes you a beautiful soul. I feel like so sad that you're talking about yourself in this manner.
Yeah.
Because it really does demonstrate that there is like one, a lack of confidence, but like a lack of truly seeing yourself
Yeah.
for what you really are. I can't imagine that these descriptions are accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. And we all have things about our bodies that we hate and that we look at and we want to change. And like just earlier today, we were talking about, I have stretch marks and they're the ugliest thing I had, and I hate them so much. Rebecca was talking about like, I can't see them. No one can see them. I'm like, but I know that they're there, right?
Exactly.
So we end up focusing on these quote unquote flaws
Right.
much more than anyone actually sees them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in there, girl.
Mhm.
I think obviously there is just so much self-deprecation in that
Mhm.
message. And I think it's important for all of us to reflect on whether or not the way that we see ourselves is truly accurate and truly a reflection of how other people are seeing us. As you had mentioned before, you could not stop thinking or looking at those pictures.
Right.
I was like, I do not even see them. I need like
Right.
a binoculars.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we don't always see ourselves accurately, and it sounds like there's just a lot more self-love that you need to work on
Yeah.
and develop, and
Yeah.
that is what I'm hearing. It seemed as though you were trying to mention these things factually and then saying that you don't necessarily care about those things.
Right.
That I think you were trying to say the only thing that you actually did care about was your nose, and that regardless of these other things, you didn't really care about them. It was like you were just so impacted by the way you perceived your nose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I was getting from that message. One thing that stood out to me is you said you didn't know at the time
Yeah.
that it was wrong.
Yeah.
So please give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
We're not held accountable for things that we forget,
Right.
things that we don't know.
Right. Exactly.
Once you know those things, then
you are
you're held accountable.
Yeah, exactly.
Or once you remember something, then
Yeah.
you're held accountable. But if you genuinely did not know, then that is not a sin.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I hate that she said that she doesn't feel like she's a good Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Like, because clearly if you have, like, whenever you commit a sin and you regret that sin and you feel badly about it and you can't stop thinking about it,
Yeah.
that is Allah telling you that he loves you.
Yeah.
And that you are a good Muslim because you're thinking about it, you're reflecting about it. And inshallah, you do better, right?
Yeah.
And I think like it is for all those Muslims who continuously think about the things that they have done in their life and they look at those things with regret, it demonstrates that you are striving.
Yeah.
And a striving person is a good Muslim.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that's tough about this particular situation is that your nose is so visible to you. It's like every time you look in the mirror, you're reminded of the fact that you got your nose done.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're kind of like constantly inundated with the memories, with like the thoughts. You're constantly being triggered, like literally just seeing yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot of room here for working on self-compassion, self-love, being graceful and gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think that we would both agree this is a very extreme letter.
Yeah.
That there's just a lot of negativity, a lot of self-deprecation, a lot of like, honestly, self-loathing that I'm hearing. And I think that there's room for you to kind of reflect on that and work on that, because it sounds incredibly painful to go through life hating yourself so much.
Yeah, 100%. And I also want to add that now that it's done, right, now that you've had the nose job, you don't have to reveal that to your partner because it's not something that actually impacts him or the marriage, right? So that is your piece of information to share or to not share, right? Inshallah, you find a spouse that is caring and loving and you feel like you can trust them with this piece of information. And inshallah, they're a person who is accepting and understanding and will love you despite this. We all have things in our past that we are not proud of. And like a good spouse is one who will overlook those things if they find them out and love you through them. Granted, if it's not like directly impacting them or the marriage, right?
Yeah. You know, and one thing that you said was you didn't think that a man could love you or accept you because you've had cosmetic surgery. And I just don't think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that cosmetic surgery is so common these days that honestly so many people have done it.
Yeah.
And so many people get married. I don't want to make assumptions about what other people are thinking or feeling, and I don't want to generalize people, but I think that you are coming to a place of that sort of all or nothing thinking that we sort of talked about in the past, where it feels very, very extreme thinking. Oh my God, I did this thing. I'm so disgusting. I'm so terrible. No one's ever going to want me. I think this is sort of, there's a lot of negativity wrapped up in that. I think it's jumping to worst case scenario. It's this very exaggerated kind of way of thinking. And I want you to kind of maybe re-examine some of these negative thoughts that you're having and maybe reevaluate whether they're truly accurate or not. Tons of people get married having done plastic surgery. And it's not uncommon these days for people to get a nose job even.
Especially Muslims.
Even Muslims.
Yeah.
I think you're getting really wrapped up in what you are viewing as a mistake that you've made. But we've all made mistakes in our lives, and your future spouse will have made mistakes as well. We all make mistakes. We're just human. And to let this one mistake define your entire life would not be fair to who you are as a person. We don't let, one mistake be the definition of who we are or our personality or our identity. I would encourage you to not let this one thing that happened define the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I would agree. And have you ever thought about getting into writing? Because you're very descriptive. Like, mashallah, you have great descriptive writing, and I was the former English teacher, so I should know, okay? All right? Know that there are so many things about you that are wonderful that someone else would love.
Yes.
And that you should continue to celebrate about yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is just an appearance-obsessed culture. And we learn in kindergarten that it's what's inside that counts.
Right.
And those are the most basic but most important lessons that we learn is in kindergarten, right? Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
You know, looks are not everything.
Yeah.
What matters is inside. Like, it's genuinely true. If I don't think you would want to marry someone who's basing their decision to marry you solely on your appearance. So I think it is even more important to find someone who loves you for who you are, regardless of what you look like anyway.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to add. Do you?
I do not.
All right, great. May Allah bless you with a righteous spouse who sees you as beautiful as you are.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah.
Pray on it.
Yes.
Think about how we can work on that self-love. Love
All
yourself,
right.
girl.
And if you have a question, query, problem, issue, send an email to girlprayonitpod@gmail.com and we might just read it on the podcast.
I know you were going to say that.
Whatever. And we'll be back with Aisha Rants. Okay. All right, and we're back with Aisha Rants, where I look at the camera and I talk about something that is bothering me that day, that week, that month, whatever. And today I have a beef with restaurants that have halal options or are halal and don't advertise it.
Yes.
And like, why?
Why?
Like, because you would gain so much more business if you would just put the halal sticker or the light or whatever on your website, on your door, on your menu, right?
That's it.
Like, immediately, you would be rich, okay? And I think a lot of it is like Islamophobia, like they just are scared that
They're scared. They're scared they're
yeah.
gonna lose customers.
Yeah, and I just don't understand it. But like, honestly, and to anybody out there who's listening, and you might like own a restaurant and it's not halal, when I tell you, the minute you become halal, your numbers up there. I mean, the food's gotta be good, but like immediate. You're going to have a customer base for life.
Honestly,
For
even
life.
if the food is not that good, if it's
Yeah.
halal, like the Muslims are gonna come.
Yeah, usually. Like, yeah, there was this one, I used to live in New Hampshire, and there was one halal restaurant, and it was a fried chicken restaurant, and we went there every week. Every week. And it wasn't even like, it was mid fried chicken, but it was the only halal restaurant in Concord, New Hampshire, and so we just ate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really do believe that you guys are missing out on like a keen, amazing business opportunity. You know?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I've even places that are like in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
Like we're traveling through, we're stopping on our way to our destination.
Yeah.
If you are a halal restaurant
Yeah.
on the way, a detour somewhere, even if it's in the middle of the nowhere, the Muslims are coming to you.
Yeah, they're coming.
Okay, and
They're
we're
coming.
finding you through Google.
Yes.
So
And TikTok and Instagram and word of mouth. Okay.
yeah. So do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
The minute we find out that you're halal, like, just you like I said, you have a customer base for life.
Yes.
And you can just pretty much bank on being a success. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually don't understand why more restaurants and like grocery stores have not increased their halal options. Because if I'm being 100% honest, like the inclusion of halal, like really just, well, like I said, it just increases your customer base. But to you sneaky sneaks out there who actually have like restaurants and businesses that serve halal meat and halal options, and you're not advertising, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot, because usually halal meat is like more expensive, right? So why are you're investing in this already? You might as well take the extra step and put the sign on the door, put the halal symbol on the menu, right? I don't understand why you guys are not doing this.
So there's like a brand of meat, Oasis, that's the halal meat that we eat.
Yeah.
And it is actually cheaper, and it is actually like, I think they advertise as like hormone free and stuff.
Okay,
And so I know that there's actually people who are not Muslim out there who just buy it.
Yeah, because it's better quality.
It's good.
Yeah.
And so like just because the meat is halal doesn't mean that people who are not Muslim won't be interested in eating that meat.
Exactly. It's better for everybody. It's better for the environment. It's better for the animals. It's better for us, right? And it's better for your bottom line. And I know that's what you guys all care about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what they say, like restaurants are like the number one failing business in America. Okay, you want to be an instant success? Become halal. Trust me. Trust me.
Do you have the numbers to back that up?
Back to back. What up?
This claim
That
they'll become an instant success.
I got a mouth and I got a stomach to prove that that's going to be an instant success. Okay, where there are Muslims, there is a hungry customer base right there.
Yeah. So for the Muslim community, a lot of us don't drink. We
Right.
don't party.
Exactly.
We can't really, go out and like do too much. Honestly,
Yeah.
food is most of the time. Food is the attraction,
Yeah.
and Muslims really enjoy trying new restaurants
Mhm.
as a kind of activity
Mhm.
that is halal for us.
Mhm.
So I feel like have some really good halal restaurants
Mhm.
all over the country.
Yep.
You're not harming anyone by
Mhm.
having those halal restaurants.
Right.
It's just going to be a wonderful benefit for us Muslims.
Yeah. I even had a restaurant that was previously not halal become halal.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
their business like blew up.
Yeah.
It blew up,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Especially because it was a breakfast restaurant. And us
Oh.
Muzzies, we love a brekkie.
I
Okay?
have never been to a halal brekkie before.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. All right. I think that's it for this episode.
I think so.
It took us like 5 hours to go.
This was an intense one.
It really was. It really was.
Yeah.
I will see you guys later.
Okay, thank God you did not say flippity flop because I was gonna blow my flop if you actually.
Okay. All right. Assalamualaikum.
Like some.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Girl Pray On It podcast. We hope today's conversation gave you something to reflect on. Be sure to follow us on both Instagram and TikTok at Girl Pray On It Pod. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, Girl Pray On It Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen, so you'll always be up to date with our newest episodes. Stay connected, stay encouraged, and as always, girl, pray on it.